What's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. I'm going to make this one pretty quick, but we do have some updates to get to. So I made a video earlier this week talking about the Commanders possibly moving on from some guys. Well, they have, and they made some moves that I'm pretty surprised about, to be honest. So the Commanders moved on from Ryan Kerrigan, Sheriff Floyd, and Pete O'Negan. So some pretty big moves off the wake up. It's pretty surprising that they moved on from Ryan Kerrigan, but they're not playing around. And they've made that very clear. They're not playing around. And when you have a new defensive coordinator come in here, he's going to make the moves that he wants to make. Right? Dan Quinn's not going to hold him back. Ryan Kerrigan is all nice and stuff. I have his jersey, has the most sacks of any Washington player of all time, but we got to be realistic here. And if he's not doing a good enough job, he's not doing a good enough job. If Sheriff Floyd's not doing a good enough job, then he's not doing a good enough job. Right? So we have 21 people in here. Make sure you guys smash the like button, smash that subscribe button. So let me just talk a little bit about what these moves mean for the team. They're gonna have to find replacements. Sheriff Floyd was 34. He had played in the NFL before. Obviously, he would seem like a very good coach, but they decided to move on from him. He was the assistant defensive line coach. I know many of you don't know him, but he was the assistant defensive line coach. So Sheriff Floyd now been fired. And he actually did play for the Florida Gators. He played for the Vikings. So he had a good bit of NFL experience, but I mean, they felt like he wasn't, doing a good enough job. They didn't want to keep him around. My guess was going to be that they were going to keep some guys around, but they didn't, right? They're not keeping guys around. So Ryan Kerrigan was obviously the pass rush specialist, but really linebackers coach, or really edge rusher / linebacker coach and pass rush specialist. That's what I'll name Ryan Kerrigan as. And so I'm just really surprised. I told you guys earlier in the week that he wasn't going to be fired. I didn't think he was going to be fired, but I was obviously wrong on that. So it's just interesting. This Pete guy, he joined the Commanders after serving as the defensive quality control coach for the Dallas Cowboys in 2023. He joined the staff here in Washington. I don't know how long he's been here, but he's the player development coach right now. And obviously these defensive players are not being developed correctly. And obviously these defensive players are not being developed well enough. So if we're just being realistic. So yeah, he pretty much had to go. We lost Jason Simmons, I believe he was our pass game coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, Jason Simmons went to the Steelers. We lost him. So we're losing guys, man. We're losing guys, but the guys that have been out so far on the defensive staff, let me get you a full list. So Joe Witt Jr., the defensive coordinator, out. He's been out now. Jason Simmons, the pass game coordinator, he's out. Ryan Kerrigan, assistant pass rush coach, he's out. Sheriff Floyd, assistant defensive line coach, he's out. And in is Durante Jones, and nobody else is in. So that's the list of guys. Let me pull that up for you. So I think you guys could probably benefit from seeing that. Because you need to know who's in and out right now. So this is what you have though when you get a new defensive coordinator. Like, this is what happens. They come in here, they make their own moves, they do what they want to do. So that's just what it is, right? And this defense was so bad that you can look at everywhere. That's what I said. I talked about it like earlier this week. I said that's what happens when you have a terrible defense. Is every part of the coaching staff gets looked over, right? I mean, I think the change is probably necessary, right? I think I said, even if Durante Jones comes in here, changes the whole defensive staff, I'm not going to be mad, because he can do that. He can do that, and I'm not mad at a change of scenery around the defense. I'm not. Like, We need a guy that can develop these defensive backs. We need a new player development coach. We could use a better defensive line coach. Everything can upgrade at this point. Everything can upgrade at this point. So I said, I'm not mad at Durante Jones, making these moves. But who's he going to bring over? He has a lot of connections. He's coached, 20 plus years of his life, so like he can bring a lot of guys. He can bring a guy from LSU. He can bring a guy from the Vikings. Like he can really bring whoever he wants over, right? So we'll see who he brings over, but he has a lot of options. I'll say that. He has a lot of options, and I think that he could get creative here. And I would definitely not be mad at him getting creative. I think it'd be beneficial to get a bunch of new guys in here. I honestly do. And I hope that we build this coaching staff young. But it all depends on Durante Jones now. Who's he going to bring in? Who does he want to bring in at this point? That's what it's going to be about, is who does Durante Jones want to bring in? Make sure you guys smash that like button for me. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button if you happen to not be subscribed. I'll get to the comment section in a second here. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that Ryan Kerrigan has been fired. Sheriff Floyd has been fired. Durante Jones is not playing around. So I'll say that. These guys don't play around. These guys, they're going to come in here and make the moves they want to make. But I'll stick to what I said earlier in the week. I'll stick to what I told you guys earlier in the week. I'm not going to get mad over them making these type of moves. I'm not going to get mad over them making these type of moves, because I think this defense could use a full turnover. I just think when you have that type of defensive year that we had last year, obviously I think the whole staff should look over. We were probably one of the worst defenses in the league. So hey, there it is. That's the news. So I'm surprised Daryl Tapp didn't get fired. I'm surprised. He could still get fired, but I'm surprised, Tommy Donatel's still here a little bit. I know that's a running joke through the fan base, but those guys are still liable to get fired. Those guys can still get fired. So maybe they do, but today seemed like the day, like just when you're going to fire 3 guys on the defensive staff, today seemed like the day where if they were going to fire Daryl Tapp, if they were going to fire some other guys, they would have gone ahead and done that today. That's what it felt like. So, but I can't tell you that for sure. I don't know. But we'll see. We will see what they ultimately decide to do. But as we always do, let's get some media opinions here, and then I'll get to the comment section here. So let's see what people are talking about in these firings. So first of all, I want to say, Ryan Kerrigan, I really feel for him. I wish Ryan Kerrigan could have been here, but he's a Washington legend. Love that guy. So I do feel a bit sad for him. But let's see if we can see anybody's opinion on this move, obviously, of the Commanders firing their guys. Nikki Javala was right. Her report was right, by the way, a few days ago. But yeah, so people are like me. So people feel sad for Ryan Kerrigan. That's what it seems like. But no one's tripping over these moves. No one's tripping over these moves, really. So, yeah. Durante Jones was the Vikings defensive backs coach when Ed Donatel was the team's defensive coordinator for only 1 season. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm glad I found that. Maybe something worth noting, but the defensive back room hasn't been good at all the past 2 seasons under Tommy Donatel. So Tommy Donatel not fired yet, but his father, Ed Donatel, was the Vikings defensive backs coach and he worked with Durante Jones in 2022. That's interesting. There's ties here. This sport is all about ties, right? So there's ties. Tommy Donatel and Ed Donatel. There you go. So you wonder why Tommy Donatel's here? Well, there you have your answer. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. I would love a refresh in the defensive back room. I really would. I would love a refresh there. I just think how bad those guys have been. the past 2 years. Using a guy that could develop Mike Samerstill into something. Trey Amos is one of our brightest young prospects on the defense. I just wish we could have somebody who could develop him. So, yeah, I would love a refresh at that position. But there you go. Ed Donatel, Tommy Donatel, related, right? And Ed Donatel worked with Durante Jones in 2022. So that's your answer. Let's get to the comment section here. If you want to jump to the front of the line in the comment section, super chats are the way to do that. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. What's up with you, man? Hey, nothing much. Just try to keep this one short, because this isn't these are not big moves, but I did want to come on and talk about them a little bit. It's interesting. Like, you have 3 guys fired. So I think whenever you have that, you come on and talk about this, for a little bit. So out with the kids, in with the men. Yeah, that's what it like. They're changing it, man. I'm not mad at all. You can bring the men in, bro. Like, I'm tired of having the kids in here. I'm tired of having guys who can't develop players. Like, I needed the Eagles coaching staff because they develop young guys. They draft replacements and develop them into something. And we need that on our football team. We need that on our football team, right? That we need it. So I just wish we had a coaching staff that was capable of doing that, of drafting guys and developing them into replacements for older players. We need a Bobby Wagner replacement. We need a replacement somewhere else. Oh, here you go. We need a Daron Payne replacement. Well, then you have Johnny Newton, right? But we have not developed Johnny Newton. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's interesting, how the Eagles can have so much farther of a better coaching staff than us. And they develop players. They're just better. So we need a refresh, man. Hopefully Durante Jones continues to fire. That's what I would like. So we have a bunch of new viewers in here, actually. Make sure you guys click the like button on this stream. Make sure you guys click the subscribe button if you happen to not be subscribed to this channel. We have 50 people in here. So that's it. I mean, this stuff is interesting, though. Johnson is interviewing for the Broncos offensive coordinator job. Brian Johnson. Yeah. So I'll tell you one thing about Brian Johnson is he's pissed at Dan Quinn. He's pissed at Dan Quinn. You know why? Because Dan Quinn completely overlooked him for the offensive coordinator job. So he's pissed at Dan Quinn. I think that's the consensus around the fan base right now. Is Brian Johnson's pissed. So I liked Kerrigan as a player and thankful for his time here, and I wish him the best, but it's time to move on and get serious with this defense. I agree. Like, if you're just keeping him here because he did so many great things with us, that's not a valid reason to keep him. That's not a valid reason to keep him. But if you are, feel like he's a great coach, then obviously keep him. But if you're just keeping him here because he's a Washington legend, yeah, I'm good. We can't have that. That's not the staff we want. This change is necessary. I agree. I think it's necessary too. I think we need change. We need change around here, right? So I agree. I think the change is necessary as well. I think we have to get a refresh in this defensive room. So yeah, I agree. I think it's necessary. Tap needs to go too. He hasn't elevated any defensive lineman. Well, they fired the assistant defensive line coach, Sheriff Floyd. But if you're going to do that, why not just go ahead and fire Darryl Tapp? In my opinion, I'm not sure why he was not fired. But again, these guys could still get fired. But today felt like the day that they were going to get fired. If somebody was going to get fired, today felt like the day. So I don't know. I can't tell you. I really can't. Whoever wants Donatel back is dumber than they look. I mean, again, I would think after these past 2 years, you wouldn't want him back. But that tie with, Ed Donatello's dad and, him coaching with the Vikings with Durante Jones, like that gets you places, man. I just hate to say it. That's how the world works. Ties. That's how the world works. That's how it works. If you have a relationship with someone, if you already know someone, it's a lot easier for you. So that's how the world works, man. He looks like he's going to stay. We need Jaden and Terry at the same time. Yeah, I mean, we knew this last year, and we're going to get him at the same time next year. So, I mean, I can assure you week 1 we are. So, yeah, we'll get him back. We'll get him back. I'm glad we taken this defense serious. Now let go of everyone who had something to do with this defense. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Again, I want a refresher, but they're not going to do that. There's obviously guys still staying. So, but that's what it felt like, you know. I would think you would need a refresher. I would think you would need to fire the guy that has been horrible these past 2 years with the defensive backs, but they're not rolling like that. So, again, they did fire 3 of the guys. And so I can't get too mad that they are making changes, right? So, but it's really all up to what Durante Jones wants at this point. That's what it's going to be up to. But we have 66 people in here. Let's try and get up to 50 likes in the stream. Make sure you guys all click the like button. Make sure all of you are subscribed as well. I need all of y'all to click that subscribe button on the road to 4K subscribers. So if you're new to this community, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. And let's see here. Keep Ryan. Yeah, they didn't keep him. He's fired. So you're a little bit too late on that. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's how the world works. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And it sucks. But it's not fair, right? But this is how it works. This is how it goes, you know. So complain about Tommy Donatel all you want. He's staying. He's staying. He's gonna be here. So it hurts, but he's gonna be here. So all right, guys. Sorry to keep it short today. Pretty busy day for me. So, we got a little bit of a big comment here. Let me read this real quick. What's good, young buck? I don't care who we fire. I want a better defense. I want a better team. I don't need Ryan Kerrigan. Yes, I loved him as a player. However, can we just make the team better? Yeah, I told you I had a jersey of him, man. Like, he loved watching him play, but I don't care either. Like, I just want the best possible coaches here. I don't care if you're a former Washington player. I don't care. I just want the best possible coaches here on the defense. So I agree with you. I agree with you, man. It's just about talent, getting in young defensive coaching talent here. We need guys that can coach football, that can develop players, to be honest with you. So I can't wait for next season. Yeah, me either, man. That's about 225 days away. So it's going to be a long ways away. Can't wait to see who gets hired. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who gets hired. I'm not sure who they're planning to bring in, but just like with everything, every NFL staff, does, they always have a plan. So they're going to have a plan. They're going to see who they can hire. Durante Jones is going to bring his guys in here. He's going to look at every single staff he's coached on. He's going to look at LSU. He's going to look at these guys, and he's going to decipher who he wants to bring in here. But it's ultimately his job to bring guys in. So that's going to do it for me. Again, I just keeping it short today. Didn't want to hold you guys too long, and these moves aren't very big, and it's a busy day for me. So you guys take care. Get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'll catch you guys probably not tomorrow, to be honest, unless there's any news. But I'll definitely be back Monday. So we'll see what ultimately ends up happening. But keep your eyes peeled for videos over the weekend. So that's going to do it for me. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one.